Howdy all, and welcome to Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little Minecraft. Alright, you know what, I went too far. So I been getting a bit of work done today, only because I can't seem to finish recording an episode. This would probably be about my fourth attempt. I keep getting off on angry tangents that I decide I don't actually want to be part of a episode. So we'll try to stay away from angry tangents this time so I can finish the episode. Oop. You know what? You are not the correct ground to go in here. It's nothing too major, just same old, you know, invited people, invited my niece over and her father. Last minute throws a fit, changes the plans as normal. I have stopped dealing with the parents, and so I leave it to the kids because I'm just not doing it anymore. I leave it to the kids to talk to the parents about possibly coming over and hanging out. And so the new season of Stranger Things came out last week. And I sent a message to my... Well, I actually sent several messages, but she didn't respond because... I'm assuming she just doesn't have the app that we were using to chat that we never used, and I dropped some messages on there and never heard back from her, so I just assumed it didn't get opened. Because I looked at it, and the last time we had left messages for each other was back in May. Why would you look at something that nobody ever uses, right? And so it wasn't a big deal, and so I texted her. And I said, hey, you want to, I came to get some dirt. You want to come over and watch the Stranger Things 2 new season here? And she said, well, she couldn't last weekend because she was in a track and field event, cross-country running. And, but maybe next weekend, she said. I'm like, alright, that's fine. So I watched Stranger Things 2 last weekend because I wasn't waiting. I thought about waiting, but then I figured, you know, she's probably not actually going to be allowed to come over here. I'm like, she's going to want to, and I would like her to, and I would pick her up and take her home. So that's the part that part's not the issue. The issue is dealing with her parents, and I wonder if I should stone this in here too. Probably put some kind of barricade up here. Yeah, so I sent her a text message today asking if she had figured out when, if possible, she wanted to come over, and she had forgotten. I had forgotten, which is why I texted her today. I did work on my bridge today. As you can see, I got my arches in. I'm thinking I might need to do something there. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe I should continue this arch back up the other way just for support for this edge of this bridge. I don't know though. Oh, sheep. A sheep just bumped me off the side, and this is all too tall to climb. Thanks, sheep. Come back and bump you off the side. How do you like that? He don't care. It's like, oh, there's grass down here. I'm good. I also, I think I'm going to use this light gray concrete as the road for the bridge. Because obviously you can't just dump concrete dust like I'm using for my pavement. So I think I'm going to go with concrete, like it's a different style of bridge than my suspension bridge back here, which is all paved. Um, but yeah, so I basically it's like this. Last year I had the kids over in the daytime I work, and so my sister hijacked our hanging out session. It was like at the beginning of summer, right after they got out of school. They had like I had them come over for like 3 days. We're gonna watch through Vampire Diaries, and then my sister claims she didn't know that was the plan. She just heard the kids were coming over. And so somehow it suddenly became they were watching her kids, and then they would hang out with me later in the evenings after her kids had gone to bed. Because, yeah. And so while I'm working in the daytime, I was going to take work off while they were here so we could get through a couple of seasons of Vampire Diaries. And instead, now they're spending the entire day watching those kids, which are too young to see Vampire Diaries. Um, and so instead, they wound up going over to a friend's house, friends of our family and their family, with the nieces and nephew, who they were over here to watch. And they had a new pool, and so they were gonna go hang out. Not a big pool, just a little, a little pool. And so it was really hot and stuff. So they went to hang out over there in the daytime with the kids, because the neighbors have kids. Why is this here? What? Why is there an oak plank just hanging about? I don't know. Because the neighbors have kids of the same age as the nieces, nephews, all the way from the oldest basically to the youngest. And so they've hung out over there before. Was never an issue. And apparently my nephew had called and asked if they could go over there, and my brother said no. They were supposed to be over here hanging out with us, not over there hanging out with them. And so it was pointed out that they were going over there to watch the kids, and he apparently didn't like that, and the nephew didn't tell anybody. And so they went over, they hung out, they come back home, and then the next day they went over again, and we got called asking where the kids were at. They were told where they were at. Huge fit. All the kids had to go home immediately because they weren't doing what they were supposed to. Except that my niece, who came over to watch Vampire Diaries, was here watching the originals with me, which is Vampire Diaries spinoff, when he called. And so he yelled at her for over an hour because her brother and sister went someplace they weren't supposed to go. And he left work early and came and picked them up because they weren't supposed to be over there. So then him and my sister got into a huge argument, and Um, and it was chaos. And so let's go get some more dirt and fix this hole as well. And so that was pretty much it for having the kids come over that summer, because I didn't have a lot of time, and I wasn't really appreciative that everybody hijacked my plans to now become their plans, because, as I like to say, my plans don't matter. And I should probably get some torches down in here too. So that's not a torch. Can I please put down a couple of torches? Thank you. And so I didn't know where they were at after they finished yelling at each other for no reason. But I knew that my sister said his kids would never watch her kids ever again. And they have. So that was just, they're being dramatic. They're so dramatic. They're so dramatic. And I am so not. They just... I'm not a door slamming kind of person. Although one time I did hang the phone up on him. But one time. I'm just so not that dramatic kind of person. So this year, the girls said to me they would like to come over and watch Vampire Diaries. And so it was like June when they said this. And so I sat down with their mother and their father. And you know what? I want brown concrete. It would be in my concrete. Brown concrete. I think that's brown concrete. I'm pretty sure this is maybe the right color. I don't know. I don't think it is now that I'm looking at it. I think this must be terracotta on the bottom. But, so we sat down and we figured out and we scheduled, because you have to schedule. And so we sat down with their schedules and figured out when their kids could come over. Yeah, this is not... What is this? Black. Oh, it's black terracotta. Alright, I need black terracotta then. That would be in the terracotta chest now that I'm organized. And so we sat down and we had to schedule. The girls said they had a week off they could come over. I'm like, man, we could finish the entire series in a week. That would be awesome. Because I really enjoy the Vampire Diaries and have not been able to finish the series because I have been waiting on my nieces to come over so we can finish it. And I guess I'm just going to have to watch it and finish it myself at this point. Because they're going to... The one's turning 17, I think. So, how much longer do I have to hang out with them to watch Vampire Diaries? So they sit down, we figure out the schedule, and they don't have an opening because they are scheduled for camps repeatedly, one after the other, apparently. This is so bizarre. And so they can't find a gap in there where both girls have time off together. And the older girl, she's like, well, I've only got the one camp because that's all that's been scheduled for me. So Maybe just I'll come over. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be fine. And her mother wasn't having that because the mother would be lonely. That's what she says. She wouldn't know what to do with herself if she had to stay home alone, and she doesn't like to be alone. And um, I don't know why I'm looking in there, because I just want to put this back in the terracotta chest. Okay. Alright, so got that finished. I want to come back and get some bricks and work on the arch on that. So some of these and some of these. I better get 2 stacks of each here just in case. So we schedule all that out. Seriously, through 2 adults schedules, we found a week off right before school picked back up at the end of August, where the girls could come over. We planned that out in June. I checked back in July, it was still on. I checked back at the beginning of August, it was still on. The day it was supposed to start, they said they couldn't come over for a week because their mother didn't want to be alone for a week. Once again, I hate dealing with adults because they're ridiculous. And so let's see. I got 1, 2. We'll put a 3rd row in here. And then we'll start going the other way, I think. And 1, 2, 2. And so I think this is like that, and then no, that's wrong. It's nope. I knew you were gonna do that. Doesn't matter. Nobody. No, it doesn't matter. There you go. Okay. Like that? No. That's not right. There should be a full block past it. Yep. Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's right. It's right. Because then we do that. And it's this, a block, and then, whoops. It's you, a block, and then this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't. What do I do on the other side here? Did I have any that just... this is the only one that sticks out this far in the water, is the problem, and I don't like the way that looks. So... thanks, because upside down stair is exactly what I was going for. Or torch. Hey, you know. You guys stop it. And so, so I'm like, oh, alright. And they're like, well, maybe we can talk them into letting us come over for a couple of days. I'm like, okay. I'd be fine with that. couple of days we get one season in, anyways. And so nope, wasn't happening. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that I spoke with the adults. Doesn't matter that the plan was made with the adults. The adults backed out of it for no reason. And so that was it. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. They came over for, what did they come over for? Man, I can't remember what they were here for, but they came over for something, and I caught the girls alone. Well, not just the girls, but the nephew too. Caught the kids in the car, and I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I'm not talking to your parents anymore about this stuff. So if you guys want to come over, it's on you. I'm like, I want you to come over. I just can't. I can't be bothered to go through that much effort to have them on a whim at the end of when it's supposed to happen. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. That doesn't go there. And so yeah, I don't know. You know what? I don't know what to do with this part. This isn't working. Let me do this. I'll tell you what. I'm going to dig all this back out. How far does this bridge span? See, this bridge spans way farther than that. So maybe I'll just not care. I guess I'll just not care. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And I actually think I prefer it without this edge on it here. Like that, like it was before. Oh, that wasn't how it was before. Whoops. Like that. Because it looks more like a foundation. I feel like that's over too far, though. I don't like that. I'm taking this back out of here. Nope. I don't want it. So yeah, so then we get to Stranger Things 2. And like I said, I texted her. She said she couldn't make it. I texted her again today. She said she forgot. She'd ask. She asks, and they're like, well, you need extra sleep because you've been sick. And so no, you can't go over there because you need extra sleep. And so I texted him back. I'm like, well, it's only 8 hours. So if we watch like 5 hours today, we'd be done by 11. And then we get up tomorrow and watch the other 4 hours, and then I bring her home. It wouldn't be a big deal. And she said then she just got yelled at that point about how her room wasn't clean, how she should have thought about how she'd been sick and before she asked if she could come over. And maybe next weekend she could try again. Like, okay, whatever. I'm just, as long as it's not me dealing with all that. It irritates me so much to deal with people. It's constantly like that. It's like I am sure that at this very moment there are next to no plans for tomorrow. And so I will ask if they want to go see Thor tonight at dinner. And then they will hem and they will haw, and then they'll want to change it to a different time than when I want to go. And then when it gets time to go when I want to go, then they're not going to want to go because that's the way they do it every time. Except I'm just going to go tomorrow if they can go or not. I don't have the energy anymore to put up with that. I just don't. Uh, I know we went to go see. For me, it's a respect thing, right? Like, okay, sure, I forgot that I was supposed to do something with my niece, and so, that's on me. That's my fault. But she forgot. Okay, big deal. We forgot. Well, I remembered. I contact her, right? And see if she can come over now. And the day we're supposed to do it. And I expected her not to be able to come over. That's why I went ahead and watched Stranger Things because I figured her parents would not let her come over because they're afraid to. Well, I don't know. Let's see here. I just got a. Oh no, that was something else. Uh, that's a funny story. I'll tell this funny story after I finish complaining. Um, I don't normally have my phone on so I can hear it, and so it was just let me know I had a message from somebody else. Uh, so yeah, I don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. We went to go see Blade Runner 2049. I really wanted to go see it, and so I made a list of all the times, and I'm like, okay, so when can we go see this thing? And they're like, we can go on this day, and I'm like, all right, this is the time I want to go. I'm pretty sure I can make it to that time. And then when it comes to the day to do that thing, then they're like, oh well, I don't know if I can go because there's this other thing that we found out about after we agreed to go to your thing and we think we'd rather go to that thing. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go then. No, I want to go. Could we go to the later show? Yeah, sure, that'd be fine. I'll go to the later show. I don't really like to go to the later show, but I will change my time to the later show. Cool. And then when it comes time for the later show, oh, well, I can't make it to the later show because we decided to do another thing. So we're just not going to be able to make it now. How do you not see that as super rude? Like, how has it not even crossed your mind that you're... So now you've wasted 2 whole days of mine wondering, planning, not scheduling something in for that because it's just my time, and my time doesn't matter. See, I tell you, it took me 4 episodes to not just go off on huge rants about all this stuff. It's probably the one thing that makes me the angriest in the whole world. I tell you. So funny story. So I follow a bunch of news organizations on my Twitter feed. I kind of like the way I get up to the minute news just popping up on my Twitter feed from the Associated Press. I follow them, and ProPublica, I follow them, stuff like that. And so Associated Press, they link to news sites, and so they link to a news site about this guy who shot people in a Walmart. And so I was reading the article. It's not a very big article. It took me like 3 minutes to read through the article. But like 4 sentences in, they had this sentence that said he was an angry man who lived alone and lived alone in his apartment with a stack of Bibles and no virtually furniture. So obviously they meant virtually no furniture, but they said no virtually furniture. And I'm like, so I tweeted that. I tweeted like, oh, read this news article, said man lived alone in his apartment with no virtually furniture. Uh-oh, I don't have any virtual furniture. So one of my friends just tweeted back. He said, "I don't have any virtual furniture either." Uh, uh, seriously, you're a news organization. You can't be bothered to read your own article before you post it. No virtually furniture. All right. I'm gonna call it here. I've been on here quite a bit today working on bits and stuff. Mostly I spent about an hour sorting out all these chests, I think, today. But hey, you know what? They're sorted, they're marked. I can actually find things. I mean, look at how many different things I worked on today instead of just one and then spending half my time looking for stuff. So, with that, click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. I will talk to you later.